And second of all, we're good.
Welcome, Earthlings, to the latest episode of the Wreak Havoc Film Bust Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Sellers, along with my sparring partner, Mr.
Sammie Castle eating a Dorito.
We are joined here once again by our special guest, Mr. the fantastic Mr.
Zack Fox. Hi, ladies and gentlemen.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah,
See what you did there.
Yeah, I like that.
Anybody want Doritos and salsa?
Oh, now 20 minutes we've been here and you finally offer.
We are here
Terrible
today
podcast.
to discuss the 1999 Fight Club. This is one of my favorites.
It is my
I'm guessing
favorite.
It is one of your favorites.
It's my favorite, period.
I like it, but I've only seen it once.
What? Holy shit.
How many times have you seen every Marvel movie?
We have discussed this before. First of all, Sammie only has time to watch most movies once.
That's true.
Second of all, I am not a highbrow movie watcher.
But not even, 18, 19 years ago, you only watched it one time?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Did you
Was
see-
that 19 years ago?
Again, I only have so much time. I'm pretty sure I rented it
Okay.
and watched it.
I don't...
I don't remember it expressly. Chad and them do that on our podcast. It's like, when's the first time you saw this movie? Fuck, I don't remember.
A lot of times I do
I spent
remember.
the better part of the 80s
I
drunk and high.
Just the 80s?
Well,
I don't recall going to see this in theaters, and I would have only been 15 or so. So I don't think I did.
I know it.
But we bought it on DVD. It's back when DVDs were brand new, and or new to us at least, and watched the hell out of it then. What about you, Zach?
There used to be a store called Blockbuster.
There's still some.
What is this blockbuster you speak
It
of?
was in the clearance bin there, and I was like, I'll give this movie a shot because everybody told me it was great.
Yeah.
Then
God,
it was.
Zach showing his age.
There was a lot of buzz around this
It-
movie when it came out.
I was 6 years old when this movie came out, ladies and gentlemen.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Maybe 7.
What's hard to believe is this movie is 19 freaking years old now, or almost. That's nuts.
Well, we talked about this at 7.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Brad Pitt.
Well, I remember.
It's that old.
I remember going, "Oh, this is the new movie from the guy who made 7, and it's got Brad Pitt in it too. I definitely want to see this." Yeah, it is pretty controversial when it came out, as I recall. But anyways,
It bombed though, didn't it?
yeah. All at box office, it didn't do very much. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit. I want to show you guys why I was a little bit late getting here. I want to show you why I brought this here.
What does he come up with this time?
Mysterious box. I went and met with our good pal.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Speaking of Brad Pitt,
Friend of the show, Mr. Jeff Cochran. I stopped by his house on the way over, and he has 90 of these made up for us to.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Let's not tell the audience what we're looking at, since this is not a visual. We have freshly printed and made Midnight Shift Blu-rays. Open it up too.
Oh, awesome.
So I actually have to go burn them now, but the discs, they're all made.
Oh God, here we go.
Did you get a DVD?
There's nothing on it. I think I got a Hank disc like that.
Do you?
Just nothing on it.
Well, that sucks. But yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool.
Look, I'm in a DVD cover.
Yeah, you're way back there.
Way back in the back.
You can tell it's you because you're the white head.
My name's on the box in the back.
There you go.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And you're not the only white head on the cover, so that's pretty cool.
It is something.
Damn it, Sammie's still got a higher name than I do. Crap. Damn unions.
It's a Tom Gore thing too. We're always like, I'm on the poster before you.
That's right. Yeah, so we are planning to show Midnight Shift at this year's Mad Monster Party, which we're very excited about.
Have you sent them? Have you sent their stuff?
Not yet, but
Next week, dude.
I know.
He said ASAP.
well, I just got the disc tonight to do it. So we're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday showing Midnight Shift, and the week after that we'll be at Mysticon in Roanoke, Virginia, and we'll be returning to Mysticon. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. Sammie and I will be on a couple panels, and we'll show Midnight Shift, and hopefully scare the hell out of some people. We'll see.
Hope so.
Hope so.
I've decided today that we're going on a spring/summer tour of film festivals across the nation, and it's going to be called Somebody Gut Punch Killing Giggles at the Midnight Shift. Because we're all together all the time.
We should all just get a van and ride together. Like,
Do you really want to ride around with Chris Moore and Jason McCann in a van?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't either.
Can I come and just film it as a documentary?
That may be amazing.
Oh, this is getting good.
The horror film directors in a horror rape band. Just
Colt Cabana, the wrestler, they filmed him and his buddies riding around from show to show to show.
Yeah.
They called it the Wrestling Road Diaries.
That's
so
pretty
we
funny.
could call this the Horror Movie Road Diaries.
Now, Zach, I have been working the hell out of Zach here the past several months. Is constantly checking him. Hey, do you have a free day this day? No. What about this day? No. What about that day? Okay, yeah, okay. Zach's been working with me on Ghosts of the Carolina, which is almost done, and our latest documentary film, Trouble Will Cause, which looks great. I don't know if you've actually watched any of the footage or not, but it looks good.
I've seen some of it when downloading.
So I'm.
This is becoming a 4-man crew now, kind of. Well, 5 actually.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it started off as me and you,
Yeah.
or started off as you, then it became me and you,
Yeah.
and then it became me, you, and Chad, and then it became, now it's me, you, Chad, and Zach. Well,
Present.
Zach kind of was before Chad,
Yeah, I guess
and now
we
we've
did
incorporated
Dark
Jeff
Heat
into
and
it.
Jeff,
So,
yeah.
and then, of course, Whitney and Jacob. But
And Whitney and Jacob and Tom is in a lot of the stuff we do, and we're helping Tom on his super secret new movie that we're not allowed to talk about. Oh, we're
I
producing.
have to show you the pictures after a while.
Oh, I got to show you. I don't know if I
saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
I've got. I'll show Zach. I did a
Looks
camera test footage for Tom's new movie, which
I have the
anyways, well-
physical. I picked one up the other day.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Oh, cool.
For the listeners,
We're
I'm
not
out
allowed
of the
to-
loop too,
Yeah,
so we're
all
good.
out. So let's get into the movie then. We're talking about David Fincher's Fight Club, based on the novel by Chuck Palahniuk.
Alan Chuck. Is that not right?
I'm pretty sure it's Palahniuk. I'm not 100% sure, but
it's
I've heard it in interviews.
I don't know.
Well, it's Penolic, so
Thought I'd see.
Has anybody read the book?
Nope.
I've listened to it. Does that count?
Yeah, absolutely counts.
that counts as reading, or else I ain't read nothing.
Yes. Give me both.
Before podcasts, I listen to audiobooks all the time.
We'll make a sequel, Sammie the Audiobook Man.
Audible.
I do have an Audible subscription.
I do too. And the only thing I've got on it is a theatrical, a multi-radio kind of thing of Lock and Key, the Joe Hill comic book
That's cool.
that they should make into a movie.
I didn't download a book for 6 months, and I got 6 credits and started losing credits. I was
Nice.
sad.
Oh, that sucks.
Ooh, THS certified.
It's a pretty old DVD here.
I want to make that my doorbell. So, like, when someone comes and just rings the doorbell, it goes. I come out in like a robe, and I'm like, "What's up?
An open floor.
Nothing but a road.
Jehovah's Witness, what's up?"
We have a location in Greensboro that's a bar, and they only open at like 11 o'clock at night. So to get in, you have to go up and just bang on the door until this guy comes to the door, and his name is Eddie. And 9 times out of 10, Eddie will come to the door in a leather vest, no shirt, white boxers, and cowboy boots.
What does he come in on the 10th time?
What?
What does he wear the 10th time?
Oh, I don't know.
Figured nothing.
The 10th time he just doesn't come to the door.
Oh, 90s opening credits.
This is I thought the
Very
exact
nice.
same thing when I first saw it.
Spider-Man was after this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember I almost turned the movie off after this. I'm like, I already hate the credits. The Dust Brothers.
Yeah, it's scored by the Dust Brothers. You don't see them do too much nowadays.
I bought their album
never
for
heard of it.
99 cents at FYE. It wasn't even used.
Damn. There's only so many times you can hear that blot rockin' beats.
It's a very Crow soundtrack too.
But it's a very
song.
cool sound. It's a very cool score though. I like it.
Oh, yeah.
It works for this film really well.
Fits the movie perfectly.
And so the film starts at the end of the film. It opens with the ending, and then we go backwards. Where Edward Norton's character, known only as the narrator, they never say his name throughout the whole film. A lot of people think it's Jack because he refers to himself as Jack a lot. But it's really only the narrator. With a gun in his mouth, being held by Brad Pitt's character, Tyler Durden.
We have front row seats for this theater of mass destruction. The demolitions committee of
And right from the very get-go, they start setting up hints as to
primary charges will blow base charges.
the deal between Tyler and the narrator. Because you don't really understand their dynamic throughout the film. It's only about 2/3 of the way through the film you realize what the deal is between them. And I guess we can go ahead and spoil it now. I mean, we may as well if we're going to talk about it. Tyler is a second personality of the narrator. It's basically almost a figment of his imagination, I guess you would say. And he sets us up from the very get-go by saying, I know this because Tyler knows this. And that's kind of a weird thing to say, but it makes total sense at the end of the film.
Yeah.
And then we immediately jump back like a year before, and the narrator's being pushed into
Meatloaf's tits.
big tits.
They'll do anything for love.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
This is such a this is such a fun movie to watch. I had such a blast watching this again. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I'm going to just get stuck watching it. And Starbucks, before anybody really knew what
Yeah,
Starbucks
that's
was,
Yeah.
that wasn't in California.
Product placement.
He's
There's Tyler.
so he's battling insomnia, and he's slowly we start seeing little tiny bits of Tyler starting to eke its way into his brain.
Oh, Krispy Kreme, Winston-Salem.
We're going to actually have to go through this
Because this movie's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's like 2:20. It's long movie.
It does not feel like that long.
It doesn't.
I can watch this movie just over and over.
But that's another one of those things about David Fincher. His movies are pretty long, and they usually flow really fast paced, and they move along. So I read that one of the first inspirations for this story from Chuck Palahniuk was when he went on a camping trip by himself and got his ass kicked by another person camping. When he asked them to turn their music down, they beat the shit out of him.
Oh, God.
And so when he showed up to work the next day, no one would say anything about it. Like, he had visible injuries on his face and had already been bleeding, and no one would. They just say, "Oh, how was your weekend?" But they wouldn't confront it. And he thought it was so weird. Like, he so obviously had his ass kicked, but no one would acknowledge it. And that was really the germ that started Fight Club. And so now that he's trying, in order to help his insomnia, his doctor recommended to go to these group therapy sessions where he can see men in real pain, not bullshit pain like he's in. And so he goes and immediately meets Loaf, who's suffering from who had testicular cancer, and when they removed his testicles, he had a lot more estrogen and grew man tits, and so finally
he had moved.
Yeah. He's able to cry, and once he's able to cry at these meetings, he can now sleep, and so this has been very therapeutic for him.
Tuberculosis is how we fight it. Tuberculosis has been gone for years, hasn't it?
I don't know. But
sorry, I didn't mean to draw a question that.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
You ever realize all the similarities of this movie and Batman?
And which one?
Well, any of them. But let's start off with the Tim Burton ones. We got a penguin.
So what's okay, yeah.
And then right there, Helen
Tim
Bottom
Burton's
Carter.
wife, yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. The whole cave, visually speaking, the whole cave sequences that it keeps cutting back and forth to is inspired by The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, the original.
Oh, the original. Okay, I forgot. I forgot there was I forgot there was the original.
One thing I like about Fincher is even though he does cut things together very quickly and the movies are very fast paced, he also allows some scenes to breathe and he allows things to matter in each scene, which a lot of movies nowadays are so freaking fast that you don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
But as we said earlier, this is a long movie. This is also a very big film.
She looks really young there. And she looks like Winona Ryder
she is.
in Beetlejuice.
That's true. She does. Helena Bonham Carter, who we were talking about. So the narrator is confronting Marla about showing up to all these group therapy sessions just like he is, and she's a big tourist, and she doesn't actually have these problems, but she finds it beneficial too to watch other people suffer. So this film only had a budget of $63 million, which you got to kind of put it into the standards of 20 years ago, but
wasn't that pretty high for back then?
I don't know. This may be one of the higher films for Fox to make at that time.
It was all spent on actors.
I guarantee you at least probably 20 or close to it was spent for Brad Pitt. But this is a big film. This is a 138-day shoot, 300 scenes, 200 locations, and 72 full sets.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane.
72 sets.
But
That's one of my favorite scenes.
she steals the clothes from the laundromat and immediately sells them.
Yep.
And the quietness ensues. We're watching Fight Club.
We're supposed to be talking?
We have to make this show shorter than the first episode. I think we need to mention for our listeners, Zach is our returning guest. He was the first guest we've ever had on this show.
I'm so honored.
And the longest podcast.
The longest episode.
Which podcast was
Oh,
that?
James Bond.
We did Casino Royale.
To which point I am
quarter.
at about an hour and a half into it, I am
Zoned the hell out.
Zoned the hell out, yawning.
And the Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
And good episode. I enjoyed those episodes, but that was December of 2015.
God, my.
Yeah.
2015?
Yeah.
It took you guys over 2 years to bring me back?
And it's not that I haven't asked you. It's been like
We never have time,
Hey, what
ever.
about this day? No.
Nope.
I'm working.
I'm working. I'm doing this one, man.
So I meant to say that at the top of the episode, but it's better late than never. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit to the narrator's first meeting with Tyler Durden. It's after he's sitting on an airplane and he travels a lot for his job as sort of like an insurance investigator, I guess. And he's having this fantasies, daydream that his plane is crashing, and when he wakes up, Tyler's sitting next to him on the plane, which should be another hint.
Yeah, because he wasn't sitting next to him earlier.
Yeah.
is.
It's a lot of responsibility.
He looks like the exact opposite
I'm
of
not
the
sure I'm
narrator.
the man for that particular job.
Yes, but he also looks a lot like Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11.
Oh yeah, the same jacket.
Same
Yeah.
jacket, same
Same
shirt,
style, yeah.
same style,
Which
other
was
than the glasses.
kind of the time, and
Vietnam.
but he pulls it off. And that's probably why they were like, "Oh, we need to do this too."
Wait. Okay, so is this stuff, is that true? Well, oxygen actually.
I don't know.
Gets you high?
I think
That's
pure
where they have
oxygen,
oxygen
absolutely
bars.
will. Yeah, I think pure oxygen will. So, because what we breathe in now is only like 30%.
Well, they pump it into casinos, so you play
Oh,
more.
yeah. So you stay away. Yeah, that's
Allegedly.
true. Yeah, I know that's true.
So just visually, and just from talking to him, he is almost the exact opposite of the narrator. He's everything that the narrator isn't. They even have the same briefcase. That's weird.
The exact same briefcase.
Well, yeah, but
Little safety flight cards.
Sorry.
You can actually print those PDFs offline. I might have printed
Screw
a
with
few, and when I get on the plane, swap them out.
Stuff them in there.
and that's the damnedest thing. You would look at that guy, and that's the last thing you'd ever think he'd be selling soap.
So yeah, kind of dirty looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's right. One can make all kinds of explosives using simple household items.
and then he's talking like that.
So inclined.
So he's, like I said, he's just almost the exact opposite of the narrator. He works for himself. He lives in a shithole shack,
Interesting single serve.
basically rundown house that he squats in, as opposed to this nice, condo.
I get it. It's very clever. Thank you. How's that working out for you?
Being clever.
What? Being clever.
Is that
Good update.
is that one of the first cases of how's that working out for you? 'Cause
Maybe.
everybody
Maybe.
uses everybody uses it now. You know,
Maybe
you
it
hear
is.
it all the time, just in regular vernacular. Vernacular.
Calling people out. How's that working for you?
How's that working for you? How's that working for you?
And so as soon as he gets off the plane,
Hey, that's my car!
he's delayed because they found something vibrating in his bag, and when he goes home, he finds his apartment has exploded.
9 times out of 10, it's an electric. No, it's 9 times out of 10. It's electric razor, but every once in a while, we don't. Of course, in the case of finding one, we don't say
And
you're.
there was a piece of paper with a phone number on it.
It's Marla's phone number, which is the only thing that's pretty much
That's kind of
survived.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My best part about that scene is his reaction when he starts to protest, but I don't have it. He's like, no, just don't have it. I don't care.
This is. That's a. I don't.
It's a telephone booth.
Well, yeah, but did he ever use? Did he use that in Seven? Because that looked like a very Seven shot.
I don't know.
I guess when we were talking about directors having a certain style,
Yeah.
he's definitely got a certain style, which I didn't really think about until I started watching this.
Let me tell you a little bit about Tyler Durden.
Okay,
All right.
this is my favorite scene in the history of favorite scenes.
All right, let's listen to it.
He had one part-time job as a projectionist. See, a movie doesn't come all on one big reel. It comes on a few. So someone has to be there to switch the projectors at the exact moment that one reel ends and the
That's
next
my
begins.
job for
All right,
15
All right,
years.
theater guy. Did 20th Century Fox have to tell projectionists, just so you know, there's going to be a cigarette burn. Don't look at it.
Well, so do you know where the inspiration for this scene came from?
No.
All right, so Fincher, if you played the commentary, he talks about it, but he used to work as a projectionist. And the guy that trained him, every time I got a movie that had a nude scene in it, would take one single frame of a nude scene out and just put it in this little vanilla envelope that was on the wall.
Yeah.
That's all he did with it. But he was just like, what are you going to do with this? And he's like, I don't know. He just kept it. And he was going to just have a whole entire feature-length movie one day of just boob, boob, dick, boob, 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 yep, ass, boob, boob, yep. Yeah, so that was the inspiration for that. But
Well, it's not nearly as malevolent as Tyler Durden's plan.
yeah, but let's say The thing with this movie, if you really want to get technical, by 99 we were not using reel to reel.
No one was doing this anymore.
It was just a platter system, one movie, you're done.
I see.
But they still had cigarette burns, just in case.
So they didn't have to make that
Nope.
disclaimer.
No.
Want this shit job?
Oh, the most quoted thing I've ever said in my life.
So when the snooty cat and the
Courageous dog meet for the first time.
meet for the first time in reel 3, that's when you'll catch a flash of Tyler's contribution to the film.
Oh boy.
Now, why are all these families in the movie in the middle of the night? If they had a midnight screening.
Okay, so
Tyler also works sometimes.
so that whole little scene is very good, and I understand why you like it. But
I don't know how much I could actually say on here.
I can't remember a scene like that where the narrator is playing a narrator on screen, but he's interacting with the guy that he's narrating.
Yeah.
Does that make any?
Yeah.
You know what I'm?
It may be the first I can think of. I mean, there's been plenty since, but
Here's talking about it.
and Fincher's done this since I think House of Cards comes to mind, where your narrator will literally stop what he's doing, look into the camera, and say, "I hate this guy," and then return back to what he's doing.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah. So the important part about this is you have a lot of. This is pretty much where you get the. I'd say probably the end of the first act, where you've set up all these characters, and then Tyler Durden says the pivotal thing. I want you to hit me as hard as you can. That's where everything starts to snowball.
Just one favor. Why? Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Never been in a fight. You?
No, but that's a good thing.
No, it is not. How much can you know about yourself? You've never been in a fight. I don't want to die without any scars. So come on, hit me before I lose my nerve.
This is something that the narrator on his own would have never come up with. It takes him literally creating this alter ego to punch somebody in real life.
And he jumps out of frame there, which he did not tell Fincher or the cameraman he was going to jump. He just did it in the moment, and they kept the take.
This is so fucking stupid.
You know, if I created my own alter ego, I'm sure he'd be as good looking as Brad Pitt too.
I'm sure he would be.
Well, I think
It'd be Chris Hemsworth.
That's the point. I mean, he looks the way he wants to look. You know.
Hit me in the ear.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
Now, didn't he really hit him in this take
Yeah.
in real life? But he didn't mean to. But he actually hit him. Didn't mean to hit him in the ear. I don't think. But
So now we're just having an impromptu fight. This is a very guy thing.
yeah. Well, no women are allowed in Fight Club.
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but I don't.
I can't wait. Can we remake this movie? It's 2018.
I mean, this is like Jackass stuff before Jackass.
Ocean's 8. It's gonna be like the female.
Yeah, it's going to be
Fight
the
Club.
female Fight Club. The Me Too movement.
Okay, it's
Starring Michelle Rodriguez.
It's kind of like Jackass.
We
but
said
it's,
female Fight
this
Club.
is-
Damn.
So their first fight was so great. It's almost like they've just had an orgasm. They're sitting there smoking a cigarette, sharing a beer. They're like they just did it. You know what I mean? This is how important it is to them. And he immediately he comes home. He even comes home with him.
I don't understand. I don't understand guys who do this shit.
Do what?
It's just shit like this, like kick each other in the
Fight?
balls and fight, and
Well, no. Okay.
electrocute each other.
I think you're looking at it wrong. They're not fighting like a couple teenagers. Like, hey, hit me with a taser. You know, it's not like that. It's just kind of like.
Mind the warm, stale refrigerator.
But especially in the scene before this, when they're sitting there discussing life, and he's just lost everything he owns, and they're going over the whole idea of, you know, the things that you own end up owning you, and when he hits him, it's kind of like it realigns everything into perspective. It's much more metaphysical than two jackass 18-year-olds punching each other.
At night, Tyler and I were alone for a half a mile, and
So they're now shooting the golf balls. Do you think the golf ball actually went back at him, or someone just chunked the ball at him at the same time?
I don't know.
You know how cool it is to set up a golf club and hit a golf ball down the road. It's fun as shit.
No, I don't.
Never done it, honestly.
Explain it to us.
It's fun. Maybe one of the movies I want to do on the podcast at some point is Tin Cup. And,
Ooh.
and that's
Nice, yeah.
Kevin Costner is bragging about how far he can hit a drive against Don Johnson, and he bets his car that he can't drive as far, and Kevin Costner hits it, and it's like, man, I got all that, and Don Johnson turns and hits it down the road, and it just bounces and bounces and bounces and bounces. So, it's pretty cool. It's fun to hit, just because it does that. You hit it way up high, and it just bounces and bounces, because the golf balls are like super bouncy. It's like rubber balls.
Like Rene Russo, super
balls.
bouncy.
Ooh. Boy, you got them. You got them tonight, don't you?
Hey, that was a good thing.
So basically, this one fight has ballooned into a group of guys fighting in the parking lot. Then they move indoors, and then we start slowly bringing rules, and he gives it a name, calls it Fight Club. And so 40 minutes into the film, we go over the rules. First and second rules, we don't talk about it.
And this is went into the pop culture vernacular.
Fourth rule, only two guys to a fight. Fifth rule, one fight at a time, fellas. Sixth rule, no shirts, no shoes. Seventh rule, fights will go on as long as they have to. And the eighth and final rule, if this is your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Okay, so again, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Did this whole thing grow out of Tyler and the narrator and that night with the two of them, or was this already going on?
No. That was the first fight.
Okay.
It was in the parking lot. And then they went and fought again the next night or whatever. And
So did we
a couple
tell?
people started watching, and they gathered around.
So did they tell how long this goes from? I mean, we've only been a couple minutes in the movie.
I don't know. Do you know if Zach, if they do ever explain the time frame here from the point where he meets Tyler Durden to the point where he's got the gun in his mouth?
No, he never
I'm
explained the
thinking
time
a year or so.
Yeah,
But
I always assume it's like a year and a half or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Because of Marla.
It's got to be a substantial amount of time to grow Fight Club from one fight to
Yeah,
a terrorist organization.
because they talk about Marla and how they hadn't seen her in a long
And this
time.
This is like Freemasons. Everybody knows. Nobody knows, but the people
But
that
the people
know
who are in it. And it's really the scars on your faces that show that you're a member of Fight Club instead of a pin. And so this is, for the narrator, this has replaced him going to the group therapy sessions. This is much better than that.
I'd fight Shatner too.
Fight shit.
Oh, they keep asking each other, so who would you fight, historically speaking? Gandhi, Shatner, Lincoln, my dad.
Now, was that real Gucci marketing material there? Was just the
I don't know.
bare ass or
It probably was.
self-improvement masturbation? And Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get an introduction of Jared Leto's character, who plays a more pivotal role later in the film. And we start to see the first hints of jealousy between Jared Leto's character and Tyler Durden, as Tyler seems to show him more attention and like him more, and which makes the narrator jealous. Let me skip ahead a little bit.
Just a bunch of sweaty cut guys.
So Marla calls him and wants to know why he's not at the meetings anymore, because they had switched days so they wouldn't run into each other, and now she cheated and realized he's not coming. So she wants to know what he's doing, and he can't tell her. This leads to
The night they did the golf balls, they were supposedly really drunk.
I believe it.
They got drunk and did it.
So this phone call leads to Marla and Tyler Durden having sex.
I miss how
A
bottle cars
marathon.
It's a CGI sex scene.
I had a bad angle.
It's a CGI sex scene
Oh,
too. Why did they do that? Did she not want to do it?
Oh, I don't
She's
know
done
that
it
it is
before.
CGI. It looks like it, but I don't. It could be. I don't know. Just the way
Hey,
you want
Siri.
to shoot it. Are those really Helen Bonham Carter?
Why didn't Helen Bonham Carter?
Boobs.
So immediately after Tyler has had this marathon sex with Helen Bonham Carter, Marla's character, he immediately tells the narrator, "Don't talk about me to her," because he's setting up this idea that this is, or he's trying to get in the way of him realizing who Tyler Durden really is. So he doesn't want him discussing Tyler to Marla.
If only I'd wasted a couple of
This is what your bathroom's going to look like too when you come to the door, and it's this pink, nasty, filth-ridden.
So are we past the pillow talk scene?
The what?
The pillow talk scene where they're kind of...
No, I don't think so. Because they have sex for a good bit of the movie.
Yes, they
These
do.
exaggerated orgasms.
So, my girlfriend and I first started dating,
Christ.
and
See where this
I was
goes.
still living at my parents
Yeah,
when
I'm
we
really
watched this
curious where this
movie.
going to.
And we're watching this movie, and the scene comes on. My mom knocks on the door.
What are you doing?
Are you guys having really hot sex? Or are you watching Fight Club?
No, did you really?
She really did.
Oh my god, I love Kate.
Because she knew it was Fight Club.
And you know what?
Okay.
You went Fight Club. She went, damn.
Ah, damn it, son. I'm disappointed in you.
Disappointed.
She's
One of these
amazing.
days.
You want to finish her off. How do you
Shut up.
And right there's the hint.
Yeah.
Wow, true.
So the first sex scene we see that was entirely created using digital imagery. Why? Is it,
I can't find the why.
is it this they didn't film it and he really wanted it? You think?
Yes.
Huh. Because she's done
'Cause he is-
explicit sex scenes
He is
before.
notoriously one of these directors who he's going to get what the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? And he will fight. And like in this film, they fought him on a lot of stuff in this movie, but he had the kind of creative control where he could say no to a lot of it. And if they ever asked him to change a line or something, he would change it to something worse. And they're like, "Well, we don't like that line even worse. Can you change it back?" I'm like, nope. You're getting the worst
Well,
line.
That's the reason I was asking about the pillow talk scene, because
I don't know exactly where it is, but tell. All right, what's the original line? Of
the
Pillow Talk
original
scene?
line is, oh shoot,
It's "I want to have your abortion."
I want to have your abortion. which Fox president said,
No.
no, hell no.
And so they changed
And he goes,
it to-
okay. Fincher said he would change it on the proviso that the new line couldn't be cut.
Be changed.
So she agreed, and the line he replaced it with
Haven't
was,
fucked
"I
like
haven't
that
been
since-"
fucked like that since grade school." I was like, damn.
Okay, so now we've heard him talk about making soap, and now we're actually starting to see Tyler make soap. And in order to do this, instead of traditional lard, he's using human fat that he's stealing from biohazardous containers at a liposuction office. Now, I know a little bit about soap making, believe it or not. For some weird reason, my dad got into the hobby of making soap. Like,
What year?
it may have been after he saw Fight
It's
Club.
also-
I don't even remember. But it was real nice soap made with not too many chemicals, but it was made with lye and fragrances and stuff like that. And it was just fun to do. I mean, but it's very potentially volatile. You could burn yourself really easily. You could mix the wrong things and create a fire.
I wonder how many men watched Fight Club and said, "I'll go into soap making."
I don't know, and I don't know that that's what happened. I don't think that's what happened. My dad's not that kind of guy, but I did have an appreciation for soap at that point. Not like most of the soap you buy in a store is just like a lot of chemicals and detergent. It's not actual soap like you make. You can, you know.
My favorite store is Basin White, so.
What?
It's a soap store.
Oh, okay. What the hell are you talking about?
They have this caffeine soap. It's amazing.
Okay, so he is burning him with lye. He's kissed him on his hand to kind of create a moisture. And he's poured lye on top of it. Which I've had little bits of lye here and there on my hands, but not like that. That was, I don't know that it would burn that way, but I imagine it would in my head. I don't want to find out.
That's what I was about to say.
I'm not going to try it.
Tonight on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, we find out if this is really how this would work.
But I remember we used to have stuff set up on a table to make soap, and if you didn't know what it was, you could walk in and be like, holy shit, they've got a meth lab over there. Like, there'd be big plastic bags of white powder stuff, and it's like, what the fuck is that? And yeah.
So the next Breaking Bad show is going to be a TV version of Fight Club.
Yeah.
And them making the soap.
It's not possible. God does not like you. He never wanted you. In all probability, he hates you.
But we find out later in the film that he's not the only person that Tyler does this to. Key figures in the Fight Club, he does this thing with everybody. He kisses their hands, and they've got this kiss mark on their hand.
Water over your hand to make it worse, or look at me. Or you can use vinegar to neutralize the burn.
Please let me have it, please.
First, you have to give up. First, you have to know, not fear. Know that someday you're gonna die.
And one reason this movie's so good is it goes back and shows how this all worked.
Yeah.
That he poured it on himself and like how everything works.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see
that
in the
is a
movie.
cool scene later in the movie.
Sometimes in the movies you're just like, wait, how did that happen when they do the two characters?
Button down, Oxford cloth, psycho. Might just snap. and
Discount Kevin
stall
Spacey.
from off
This is
the
a,
office with an Armalite AR-10 carbine gas-powered semi-automatic weapon.
So the narrator's being confronted by his boss about Fight
This might be
Club.
someone you've known for years. Someone very, very close to you. Tyler's words coming out of my mouth.
Another clue.
I used to be such a nice guy.
He gives him this long speech about, you know, I wouldn't mess around with whoever did this because it could be this crazy person that comes around.
Yeah.
That line tested so well during initial testing,
It's going wrong.
but then Columbine happened. When they retested it, no one laughed at all.
No.
They left it in the movie just because it seemed to be important. But
yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna skip ahead to one of my favorite scenes of the film, if I can find it here. The scene with Lou. Well, we don't want to skip this. He meets Loaf again. His name is Robert Paulson. He meets Loaf again, and he tells him he's like, "I stopped going to meetings. I found something better, or I'm not supposed to talk about it." And then they realize, oh, he goes to a different fight club, and then the idea starts to come up in that, oh, there's different fight clubs.
Yeah.
You know, there's on the different days of the week, and
Well, you know, if something like that does get out,
yeah,
that it's gonna blossom like that,
yeah.
because it's just the way people are.
And so now we see
Meatloaf jiggle.
Meatloaf and his big giant boobs fighting.
So how much prosthetic boobs did Meatloaf have to go through per day?
I don't know.
A lot, but it says that
Pretty
they were.
huge.
It was a fat suit, and for it to hang correctly, they filled it full of birdseed, so it would sag. It would literally sag. So he was carrying all. I mean, that's he
Could
was
you just
carrying that
imagine
around with
punching
all.
him and seeing seed go everywhere? Okay, so one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when Lou, the owner of Lou's bar, comes to interrupt.
Not talk about it.
And he shuts everything down,
Still not getting it.
and he beats the shit out of Tyler Durden.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Shit, I lost it.
I lost it. And he lets Lou beat him in front of everyone to make a point. And then he turns the tables on Lou.
Ah, Lou.
Come on, man.
That laugh.
We really like this place.
I really like this place.
That's right, look, get it out. Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
That laugh is so creepy.
Fucking funny.
Brad Pitt can actually do creepy really well. 12 Monkeys comes to mind. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
have you ever
pretty
seen
creepy.
California?
Oh yeah, he's great. in
Yes.
California. I forget. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yes, so
David
creepy.
Duchovny. He can flip that creepy switch pretty well. Just leaking blood all over Lou.
Pulls him right off. Suspended in air.
There you go.
Thanks, Lou. You too, big guy.
So weird. So
See you next
creepy.
week.
Oh shit. Tom Gore's calling me. Hold on.
Oh Lord, really?
Yeah, just
Oh jeez.
keep talking or something. I'll,
He's gonna be gone for a while.
Hey Tom, what's up, bud? No, we're
Oh
nothing
Tom.
at all. We're
Hey,
just
Tom.
Hey Tom.
It's nothing important at all. We're just podcasting.
Yeah, it's definitely
The
nothing
script yet?
important.
Nothing important. just take call.
Take. Oh God, we're doing this again. I gotta get over here where I can. I don't know which phone is going. Oh, the cup's empty. I kept going. Why is the cup? I could have just moved it.
I'm gonna get a cup of coffee.
A cup of coffee. But we got to take a phone call. That's kind of how this works.
Ring, ring, ring,
sure we
ring.
ready for this? Ring, ring. Yeah. Recap at Film Buzz Podcast.
Hello, Sammie. This is Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Wow. Hello, Mr. Loaf.
Hello, Sammie, Dan, and Zack. This is Meatloaf, and that's so fact.
Oh God. Oh wait. Dan's not. It's only two of us. Dan's not here.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, that's terrible. Mr. Loaf, how you pinching him today?
I'm doing well, Sammie.
Pinching him. Get it? Pinch a loaf. Never mind.
I get it.
Hey, hear your daughter's very talented.
She's pretty decent, but not the Meatloaf himself.
Do you sing everything you say, Mr. Loaf?
I had a mental breakdown a few years ago, and now this is the way I talk.
So when you talk to Bonnie, do you do this too?
And wherever I am and wherever I go, I have to sing everything.
That's because you're running like a bat out of hell. How many Meatloaf references can we get?
Just keep it going. We'll find out.
I'm running out of. So, I don't have a question.
I have to say, I have to ask you, Mr. Loaf, or I guess more tell you, you star in my favorite movie
Please
ever.
call me Meat.
Please call you Meat. Okay.
Okay, Meat. Sorry.
Mr. Meat.
I have to ask, how was it starring in a movie with Patrick Swayze for Black Dog?
Oh, I love that movie. That is a very good movie.
I don't really remember anything from the 80s or 90s.
I like it. I like the fact that you say starring with Patrick Stewart when the star of the movie was Patrick Swayze.
I said Swayze.
No, you said Stewart.
Did I?
Yes.
I don't
Whoops.
remember which it could be.
Did you? Did he put Baby in the corner? Did you guys do the dance?
I'm calling because you're talking about Fight Club.
Mr. Meat, what are you doing today? What did you call for a reason?
I called because you're talking about Fight Club.
Yes, sir, we are. and your moves.
When David Fincher came to me, he said, Mr. Loaf, I said, call me Meat. He said, I need to have you in my film.
Yeah.
I said, just give me a pen.
Give you a pen because you wanted to do it. You're trying to get into acting.
I had breast implants for the film, and Fincher came to me. He said, don't do that, we can fake it by making you wear fake titties. I said, no! Mr. Fincher, we're doing these things for Fight Club.
I don't have nothing. I've run out of meatloaf stuff. Oh my goodness.
We're doing these things.
You just won't quit.
I won't do that.
Oh, you won't do what?
What won't you do,
That's what I
Mr.
always
Meat?
wanted to know.
I wouldn't wear the fake titties.
Oh, well you
I
do?
had breast implants for the film.
Real ones? Not fake. What? I
They
didn't.
tried to get me to just wear the fake ones, and I said, no, I can't do that.
Okay.
When did you get them taken out? Was it painful?
It wasn't very painful. I would suffer for my art.
Oh, aren't you sweet?
I would do anything for Fight Club, anything David Fincher dreams of.
There you go.
So, is it true you turned down the role in Gone Girl?
It is true, I turned down a couple of roles. I kind of lost my mind a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Did you turn it down because you were wanting Ben Affleck's role?
I turned it down because I don't want to. I don't want to work for the liberal Hollywood elites.
Oh, is that okay? That's what it is.
But I've got very fond memories of Fight Club.
Yeah.
But nothing else.
You got any good stories? How was it like working with Brad Pitt?
I would do anything for Brad.
It never stops.
Don't do that.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Mr. Meat, you got to meet Joe Black.
Oh, jeez. He's gone. Thank God.
What an asshole. He hung up on us.
That may have been the worst call celebrity guest ever. Oh my God. Mr. Meat. Oh, never even thought about that. His what?
Oh, he's calling back.
His daughter, she is hottie.
Meatloaf?
Yeah, Meatloaf's daughter. Recapping Film Buzz Podcast.
Hey, Sammie, this is Kermit again.
Well, hello, Kermit. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Sammie?
Good. Last we heard from you, you were in rehab.
Yeah, listen, about that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to call and say I'm sorry for the way you left things last time.
No, that's okay.
I was a real jerk, and I was in a really bad place then, okay?
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of soul searching, and I've apologized to Piggy, and I want to apologize to you and Dan.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot of drinking. Please tell Jason I'm sorry for the way I acted.
Okay. He was pretty disappointed in you. He's a big fan. When you meet your heroes and they let you down, it hurts.
Speaking of meeting heroes, I just wanted to say hey to Zach.
Oh yeah, Zach's a big fan.
Hi ho, Kermit.
Hey! How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Why are you waving at the phone?
I like waving at Kermit.
Hey, Zach, I was wondering, since you're such a big fan of mine, I was wondering if you would want to maybe, I don't know, sing the song with me?
Oh.
Ooh, the Rainbow Connection?
That's it.
Absolutely. You want to kick it off?
Sure.
I'll follow behind.
Singing episode.
Why are there so many
songs about rainbows and what's on the other side.
God help me.
Rainbows are visions, the illusions. Kermit, you're slightly off. It's a lucky night. I heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something I'm supposed to. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da
That
do.
bitch, get back in the house. You see him
Oh,
on the phone?
my God. What the
Get in
hell?
the house. I'm on the phone. That bitch.
Fat bitch.
Jack, I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I've got to go. I've got some problems here at the house, but
Oh, it's okay. Hey, do me a favor. Next time you see Rizzo, can you ask him to send my girlfriend an autograph, please? She absolutely loves him.
me and Rizzo are technically on speaking terms
Uh-oh.
at the moment. He's one of the many people that I've got to call and apologize to.
Is this part of your rehab?
It is.
Okay.
This is step 9.
Well, thank you, Kermit. I'm glad we could help you on your road to recovery.
All right, fellas. So long.
It's so long.
Bye-bye.
That's much better.
All right, Tom. All right, I got it.
Did you hear? Did you read? They did an interview with. They published an interview with Frank Oz.
Good help.
That's it. With he won't shut up. He's
Jesus
you get him
Jesus.
going and he won't shut up.
He's so
You
passionate.
missed Kermit.
They can I ask my damn question? I got a thought. Don't let me lose it. Did you see that they had I saw today that they done an interview with Frank Oz, and he said, I never created any of that stuff for kids. It was all for adults.
Yeah.
He said, I never meant for any of that stuff to be.
The original Muppets doesn't feel like it's for kids, really.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
No, not as sorry as we are.
Oh, did you guys take a call or something?
Oh my gosh,
really?
yes.
Oh, cool.
The longest
Same thing,
caller of all time.
Man, that meatloaf needs to get in the microwave.
Yeah,
God, I love Meatloaf.
he called.
Oh, Meatloaf call. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we were praying for the end of time.
Oh, wow.
I asked him how he was pinching.
Gross. Okay. Well, that's cool.
And then he wouldn't. He
Talking
wanted,
about Fight
we
Club?
wanted him to call him Meat.
Oh, okay.
So I called him Mr. Meat.
Well,
yeah.
it's-
He talked about Fight Club. He said he didn't wear a fat suit. That's what he claims, that he actually got a boob job done.
Really?
Yeah.
God, some of these actors, the method, they go
That's
through
taking a little bit too
to
far.
achieve their character.
He didn't get Oscar.
Don't know that I believe it.
Thank you, Mr. Loaf, for your contribution.
Mr. Meat. You don't want to be referred to as Loaf. It's Meat.
Oh, it's an informal first name basis. Mr. Meat.
Sammie tried hitting on his daughter. What a shock.
Yeah. She's hot. She's hot.
What's her name?
I don't remember, but she's married to Scott.
Pot.
She's married to Scott Ian of Van
Pot roast.
Pot roast, and she leads a. She at one time she was the front of the Iron Maiden female cover band, but I think she's doing her own thing now.
Who was
Cool.
Who was the girl that was in Night Court that sang with Meatloaf?
Night Court. Mm-hmm. She
Billy?
was in
She played Billy.
Marky Post.
No, that was Christine.
Oh,
Billy was only in the first season.
I don't remember.
Okay, cool.
Are you guys ready to get back in the Fight Club?
Yeah. Can we talk about Fight Club? That's one of the rules.
We're breaking the damn rules
we're
right
breaking the
now.
rules.
Fucking podcasting about it.
The first and
Damn.
second rule. Alright, so shortly after Lou has beat Tyler's ass, he starts giving out homework assignments to members of Fight Club. So it's starting to spread outside of the actual just meeting.
Okay, so just randomly.
I think the first assignment is to go out and pick a fight with a stranger and then lose. Okay, and the narrator has chosen to confront his boss and
This happens, basically.
now I've seen scenes similar to this in a couple of movies.
What are you doing?
If I can find my notes. Now,
He beats himself up.
This scene, to me, feels almost like a mirror image of the scene with Luke. Like he gets his ass kicked in order to achieve a goal, to get something out of someone who's got power over him.
I was just thinking it mirrors Liar Liar, but okay.
Well, I was thinking the scene in American Beauty where Kevin Spacey quits his job. It's much more dramatic than this.
I'm kicking my own ass, can't you see?
I forget. I haven't seen that movie in a while. And he's just horrified. He's just standing there watching. Oh my god!
He's literally beating the shit out of himself.
Yeah. Which, if the question comes later in the film, how could he beat himself up as Tyler Durden? This is how. This is exactly how.
Oh, so yeah, it shows you how he could do it.
How
yeah.
physically it could be done.
Inside everything this man took for granted, something horrible had been growing. Look, give me the paychecks like I asked, and you won't ever see me again. And right then, at our most excellent moment together,
Covered in blood, down on his knees.
telephone, computer, fax machine, 52
Gets everything he needs.
checks and 48 airline flight coupons. We now had corporate sponsorship. This is how Tyler and I were able to have Fight Club every night of the week.
So jacked up.
Now,
Let's talk a little bit about Fight Club 2. And not to jump too far ahead, but
Haven't seen it.
I've got the first half of it right here, just for you guys to kind of. There's the first 5 issues of Fight Club 2, written by Chuck Palahniuk. He was going to write a novel, but someone convinced him to do it in comic form, and
There was a big buzz about the first issue, but then it just kind of. Cameron Stewart's a good artist too.
I haven't read it. I've only read the first issue. But my question to you, as comic man, is what was the buzz on this? Was it supposed to be good or not, or?
Again, it started off hot. It was. I don't know that I heard any. It just kind of died off.
Yeah.
You didn't hear anything else about it. So that normally says it's not good.
Yeah.
Or it's underwhelming. Maybe it's better.
It was a limited 10-part series.
Yeah.
It takes place 10 years later.
I think I heard that the first issue was good. I think we reviewed it on Talking Comics. Yeah.
Well, the narrator in Fight Club 2 goes by the name Sebastian. I don't know if that's his actual name, but that's what he calls himself. And he's married to Marla. and 10 years later, he's taking pills. He's living this very dull suburban existence. And slowly but surely, Tyler starts to creep back into his life. And that's kind of where this thing could go way out of control again.
Do you have the whole series?
No, I only have the first half. I need to get the second at some point. I haven't read it either.
Probably collected in a trade by now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it is. But last I heard, the author is contemplating making a Fight Club 3 for comic book form as well. So.
Where the hell did you get these at?
I don't remember where I got those. Probably.
no, I
don't know. Probably John.
mean, okay.
They didn't come from John Bagenborg.
I package them myself, though.
Oh, okay.
I package new comic books myself.
Nerd! I do mine too.
You want them to last.
I mean, you have to.
I don't have time to package things.
Nerd alert!
And so now,
Pair of black boots.
members of Fight Club are starting to show up at their doorstep, like recruits in the army or something, and they're slowly starting to build a more home-based organization where it's turning more in from a hobby to
A mission.
a mission, and slowly evolves into like a terrorist organization that started off with just these stupid little projects and vandalism, and it just balloons way out of proportion.
Project Mayhem.
Project Mayhem.
God, they've got a baby too.
Yeah.
Who right off the bat is making some kind of chemical stuff.
All right, I'm skipping ahead to the scene where the group of, including Robert falls in this huge tuxedo.
This is very Fight Club. I was dying of a drug overdose and he fucked me back to life. He gave me orgasms that shaved years off my lifespan. And this little old woman goes, "What's an orgasm?"
So
I think it's a cancer kid.
it sounds just
Maybe
like
that's what it is.
I don't think it's an
It
old
looks
woman.
like a support group, though.
Does it look like an old woman to you?
No, and it's holding a toy, too, now that I look. I don't know where it's at, because I just kind of jumped in the middle.
I bet
and
it's
saw
like a
that.
cancer hospital or
Probably.
something.
And she's smoking in the middle of them.
Yeah, that is very, very much like Fight Club. So the whole group of guys are posing as waiters, and their goal is to get the commissioner of police alone so they can threaten him. So he goes to the bathroom because he's been making a lot of statements in the news about how they're going to stop this anarchist group that's doing all these vandalisms and blowing things up, and so they're specifically targeting him. I remember seeing this as a kid the first time and being terrified that they were actually going to cut this guy's balls off. I was scared to death because they told him they're going to do it.
But you didn't have yours dropped yet.
Oh, they were dropped.
So my question, when they wrote the script, did they know, like, when they're going for Tyler's jobs at the beginning and that he's a waiter and everything, that this scene was going to come back later where they're all waiters about to do this to this guy? Like how much did they actually think this through? Forethought was there, or rewrites?
Having the book as a guide
reference,
helps.
yeah.
But, I'm sure this movie takes leaves a lot of things out and takes different
It does.
avenues.
But ending's different.
You kind of
too.
have to. So what's the original ending of the book as far as you remember?
I was really hoping you didn't ask me that.
Go to Google, Zach.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
So he said he did the audiobook however long ago, and I asked him what was because the ending was different from the movie and the book.
It was like 6 years ago I listened to the book.
Okay, so I talked a little bit earlier about how Tyler shows a little bit of favoritism to Jared Leto, and that pisses off the narrator, and he's going to take his frustration out on him in the next scene where he pounds his face. And of all the beatings that you see these guys take, this is the only one that really seems to translate into like actual.
I wanted to open the dump valves on oil tankers and smuggle all those.
Over the line?
What was disfigurement?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look the same after this.
and when it repulses everybody else,
in the group,
then you know you've kind of.
They're not going to stop him though, because you know what I mean. Like that's to everyone else. That's Tyler Durden. He's the head of the group.
Yeah.
I felt like destroying something beautiful.
He doesn't even get a chance to tap out or say "I give" because he lets Tyler beat the shit out of him until he knocks all his teeth out. Everything.
And I felt like destroying something beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
I'm going to get away from you right now.
Okay, so now we're in the third act. After that happens, there's this car crash, and Tyler goes AWOL. The narrator wakes up. Tyler's gone.
It's under control, sir.
All the members of Project Mayhem won't tell him anything because Tyler has given them instructions. Do not tell him anything.
Mayhem is you do not.
Right. Okay. I'm all alone. My father dumped me. Tyler dumped me. I am Jack's broken heart. What comes next in Project Mayhem? Only Tyler knows. The second rule is you do not ask questions.
I'm just going to add a little bit here to the. So a couple members from Project Mayhem have come back from this mission that went awry, and Meatloaf's character has been shot and killed.
A friend of mine, and you're not going to bury him in the fucking guard. He was killed serving Project Mayhem, sir. Bob.
Sir, in Project Mayhem, we have no names.
No, you listen to me. This is a man who has a name. And it's Robert Paulson, okay?
Robert Paulson.
He's a man, and he's dead now because of us, all right?
They're so brainwashed at this point. They're so brainwashed.
Somebody has a name?
In death, a member of Project Mayhem has a name. His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson.
His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
Come on, guys.
His
please,
name
stop.
And now he's brainwashed him into this.
Yeah.
Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson.
This is all over with.
His name is Robert Paulson.
It's too late to shut this down.
Oh,
It's far out of his
he's already
control.
created something he can't. And this is a very mob mentality
Foot off the plane.
kind
It's like
of
it's
thing.
a cult mentality, you know, and it's very much like a cult.
Well, and I'm watching Waco on Paramount
Oh,
right
how
now.
is it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not super great, but it's
Michael
it's
Shannon?
Huh?
Michael Shannon.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a freak.
John Leguizamo and Melissa Benoist.
Tyler, the guy from John Carter and
Tyler
Friday
Fish.
Night Lights. Yeah, that guy.
So we have another a montage scene, which we all know I'm a fan of.
Yes.
Of the narrator flying around the country, going from city to city, looking for Fight Club franchises where he can try to find Tyler, because he still hasn't figured out. Hour and 50 minutes into this film, he is Tyler Durden. He thinks Tyler's somewhere out there making these terrorist plans,
His reconstructive surgery every 3 years.
and so Tyler's become such a legend. I love this part. He walks into a random bar in this random city, and people are chanting his name is Robert Paulson in a back room in a restaurant.
Welcome back, sir. How have you been?
Do you know me?
Is this a test, sir?
No, this is not a test.
You were in here last Thursday.
Thursday.
You were standing exactly where you are now, asking how good security is. It's tight as a drum, sir.
Uh-oh.
Who do you think I am?
Are you sure this isn't a test?
No, this is not a test.
It's an emergency problem.
Mr. Durden, you're the one who gave me this.
Please return your seat backs to their full, upright, and locked position.
But he still doesn't quite believe it, even though he's even said earlier in the film he's starting to get these little inklings that maybe he is Tyler Durden.
More with me. Have we ever done it?
Done what?
Have we ever had sex?
What kind of stupid question is that?
It's stupid because the answer is yes or because the answer is no.
Is this a trick?
No, well, I need to know.
You want to know if I think we're just having sex or making love?
We did make love.
Is that what you're calling it?
Just answer the question.
It's like a really sick Who's on First.
Yeah, I know.
You hate me. You show me a sensitive side, then you turn into a total asshole. Is that a pretty accurate description of our relationship, Tyler?
Just lost count.
What's wrong with you?
What did you just call me? Say my name.
Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden, you fucking freak. What's going on? I'm coming over.
No, wait, Marla, I'm not there.
This is one reason that as many people has told me to watch this movie, and it never got spoiled for me.
Really?
Because every M. Night Shyamalan movie ever has been spoiled for me. So the fact that this was not spoiled was amazing.
Answer me.
And that I actually missed the twist, because I normally catch the twist.
Answer me. Why
Hey, did you know that Samuel L. Jackson dies at the end of Glass?
No way, really? Oh my god, what a shock. Sammy's over here confused as shit.
I don't want to break.
Do you know
the trend for
Bruce
you.
Willis?
It's not even come out yet.
Do you know the twist is Bruce Willis is actually Glass?
Oh.
Say it.
I think James McAvoy does.
Because we're the same person.
That's right.
We are the all sing and all dance crack. I don't understand this.
You were looking for a way to change your life. You could not do
And
this.
here we come with the explanation.
All the ways you wish you could be.
So I feel like this movie is doing a serious mindfuck on the 20-year-olds who did go to see this to see Jackass. You know what I mean? At this point, they're going, "What the fuck am I watching?" They still like it because it's entertaining as hell, but this is not the film that they thought it was going to be.
People do it every day. They talk to themselves. They see themselves as they'd like to be. They don't have the courage you have to just run with it.
I beat his ass on the party lot.
Sometimes you're still you.
We should do this again sometime.
Other times you imagine yourself watching me.
This is your first night at Fight Club. You have to fight.
Little by little, you're just letting yourself become Tyler Durden.
All right, we're going to skip ahead a little bit toward the end.
Salad, you understand?
Some of my favorite phrases. You're going to eat a lead salad. Okay, so this is all leading to this culmination at the ending where
Is there some correlation to Tyler looking freakier now, or he's lost the glasses and shaved his head, and what's the significance of
he's
that?
becoming more and more militant, I think. You know what I mean? All the other guys in Project Mayhem have shaved heads, except for the narrator, and so does Tyler. Maybe that's part of it. Because there's this plan now to destroy all these major buildings in a major city. I don't even think they ever say what city it is, do they, Zach? And the idea is that it's to try to disrupt the financial networks and reset the credit system and all that.
The credit card debt's back to zero.
Yeah. Which I don't know. I don't know if anything like that could have ever worked even in 1999. Maybe, I don't know. And Tyler Durden just beats the shit out of the narrator. This is when he realizes it won't do any good to shoot Tyler because Tyler's not real. The only way to really shoot Tyler is to shoot yourself. He just becomes more and more of a cartoon character as this goes on towards the end. Still hurts all the same.
Here we
Okay.
go again.
All right. Yeah, we got to quit watching this. Let's skip ahead a little bit toward the end. And
It's a pretty long third act.
It is. It is. He's in this chair, and he's faced with the plans to destroy all these buildings, and he's fighting Tyler against it, and it's just Tyler and the narrator, and Tyler has the gun.
Is she here? Tying up loose ends.
I'm begging you, please don't do this.
I'm not doing this. We are doing this.
A little bit before we start getting here to the end, let me just throw out some little bits of trivia I found. I think we talked a little bit about earlier. There was a horrible, terrible marketing campaign for this film that led to David Fincher making that part of his contract for future films that he had to have input and say overall marketing, which...
Well, what did they do wrong?
Still bad Christmas movie of the holiday season.
Yeah, until another one of his films didn't or underperformed.
Have I ever let us down?
I don't really remember, to be honest with you, Sammie. I don't recall but
I don't remember either.
I think even the studio would acknowledge it wasn't what they wanted because the film. I don't say it bombed. I guess you would say it bombed, but I mean worldwide it made its money, but Probably not.
DVD rentals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
VHS rentals.
and I mean, okay. Here's something we can discuss with this movie. So this movie was a bomb in the theater. It exploded on DVD.
I think so.
With the death of DVD and with the death of VHS, are we going to see movies that do that anymore? That bomb.
Well, so many things are coming out at the same time now, digitally and theatrically. You know, it's the whole dynamics are changing.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be the perfect guy to talk about this more than us.
Well, I mean, you got The Greatest Showman that opened up opening week with $8 million on the week it opened, and it was considered a bomb.
But it's held great.
But 2 weeks ago, I mean, it's seventh week being out, it did what, $12 million?
Yeah.
It's gone up.
Yeah.
And it's the word of mouth thing, and that's kind of how DVDs.
It's a good movie too.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's how DVDs and VHS, because I remember Transporter. First Transporter movie came out. Nobody knew what it was. It didn't do nothing, but it went to DVD and everybody rented it, and it got passed around a lot, and people really liked it. So they made a Transporter 2 and 3 and 4 or 5, whatever. On
But
now.
again, that's something that's a little bit older. Are we going to lose that now? And with The Greatest Showman, we're seeing a throwback a little bit because in the 70s that happened a lot.
Movies had legs.
They had legs, and they also started off the first weekend, but it just stayed. And
it's
it
word of
stayed,
mouth.
and it stayed, and it stayed, and it stayed, and it stayed. I think Sixth Sense was like that a little bit too.
Zach, what's the typical run in a movie theater?
For your normal movie, is 6 weeks. For a big movie, it's about 8-10 weeks, depending on how big the movie is.
So with Star Wars, you could expect to stay.
You
10
can
weeks as
you can
opposed to,
expect it even in 3 months later, probably playing one show a day or something.
Do you have Last Jedi yet?
We'll get it for Easter.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I mean, the thing I think now is, so like, for instance, they can put it straight on iTunes or Netflix, but there's just so much content that people are, it's kind of more spread out now. It might not be just one single movie like this, for instance, that people say, oh, it's great. Everybody should watch it, because they're like, oh, you should also watch this, and the other 480 things that's on Netflix that just came out this week. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Are we losing? Losing that? Are we losing?
Well, it's just the dynamics of everything's changing. I mean, look how Netflix has changed the game right now. I mean, just look at Cloverfield Paradox. You know, a film that was initially made for a theatrical release, bought by, I guess they expected it not to do what they wanted it to do, and so instead of having a bomb at the box office, we can sell it for $50 million to Netflix, and it's more of a successful story.
And originally, that movie was not even a Cloverfield movie. It was just a movie.
Well, neither was 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're just churning these in, but Netflix, basically that movie was going to bomb at the theater. Yeah. So
they saw the writing on the wall.
And their budget was supposed to be like 12 on that, and ended up being 40.
Because initially the third movie was supposed to be The God Project.
The God Particle. Yeah,
that is it.
That is it.
That was the code name for it. Because the next one is... What's the next one called?
They announced it. I can't remember.
Bright? No, that was the Will Smith shit.
Which ended up being the highest Netflix showing of all time, or something.
They don't discuss their ratings except for when it's a huge success like Bright.
Yeah.
But, another thing to
and I've heard mixed things about it.
Heard nothing good about it.
I hadn't either until recently.
I didn't.
They're doing a sequel.
It was fine.
The last 3 or 4 people I've talked to was like, "Oh my god, it's awesome."
I'm not a fan of that director, so I didn't really have high hopes for it.
David
Ayer,
yeah,
Suicide Squad. But anyways, another thing I want to mention here before we start wrap up: some alternate casting for this film. The studio was going after Russell Crowe pretty hard to play Tyler Durden, which.
Wow.
If he were a little bit younger, I could see.
It'd be kind of appropriate.
Yeah.
He lives Fight Club.
Chunking the phone at people.
Didn't he literally get in a fight with some? I think he's got a
fight. He's notorious for being pissed off at people and fighting them. Sean Penn they went after him for the narrator, which again, he's a little too old for it. So, anyways,
But they could have put
Those
the
two
two
paired
together.
together,
Right.
yeah.
might be interesting. Yeah. Kind of a funny one is Matt Damon, because he and Edward Norton were constantly being put up against each other in films, which was funny when the film that they did before this was Rounders, one of your favorites, where they got a co-star.
Yeah.
But the only reason Edward Norton was able to do this is because he was up for the role in The Talented Mr. Ripley too. And so they finally worked it out between their agents and stuff that he would do Fight Club and he would do Talented Mr. Ripley and not the other
Oh,
way
what do we
around.
want to know that deal? Well, I guess initially
They're both really good movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. They both. I don't think either of them were huge successes.
I think this one's going to be
the test of time.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Test of time.
Courtney Love
I love Rounders.
for Marla, which I could see that. She's not as good as an actress as
Yeah.
Helen Bonham Carter, but she could play that grungy type for sure.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
Winona
She
Ryder.
probably was grungy at that time.
Oh yeah, Winona Ryder.
Man, I can see that.
Since I mentioned Beetlejuice, and
They
how
offered the role to Reese Witherspoon, and she turned it down because she didn't want to do all the say the nasty lines and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's pretty.
That's why she's making Home Again.
Interestingly enough, she actually bought the rights to Gone Girl, and then as a producer hired David Fincher later to make Gone Girl for her. So that's pretty interesting.
Full circle.
Comes full circle.
It does.
Okay, back to the film. The narrator has realized that if Tyler is holding the gun and he's not, technically he's holding the gun. And so when he thinks about it hard enough, the gun is in his hand. And it's the only way he can really he can stop Tyler is to shoot himself. And he shoots himself in the mouth. The only perplexing thing to me is why he survives it. I mean, I know why, but I mean, I don't know that he purposely meant to survive it, but he does.
But why does it kill Tyler?
And I've been thinking about this. And I think the reason it kills Tyler is because of the psychological suggestion that if he's willing to kill himself, that alone is powerful enough to stop him.
Makes sense.
Or to you know.
This is a psychologist's wet dream.
All right, so Marla's been brought to him here at the very end, and there's only seconds left before Project Mayhem is executed.
What happened?
I would ask.
You're shot.
Yes, shot.
He's very articulate for someone missing part of a jaw.
Who did this?
I did, actually. Find some gauze.
You shot yourself.
Yes, but it's okay. Marla, look at me. I'm really okay. Trust me. Everything's gonna be fine.
Blow it up!
You met me at a very strange time in my life.
The understatement of the year.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so is all this metaphor and happening in his head, or did they really blow up?
Oh, they blew it up. That's real.
I think everything's blown up, but I mean, an argument could be made. Now, I don't really recall. To the best of my recollection, in Fight Club 2, he's gone into some kind of mental hospital and then came out. He's on some form of probation or something like that, and is married tomorrow with a kid. He's on pills. He's highly medicated to avoid having this happen again.
I'm sure.
So,
Highly medicated.
yeah.
Not mildly.
Oh, a couple directors that the studio went to before David Fincher. Peter Jackson, who was busy starting the Lord of the Rings, so he couldn't do it. Bryan Singer, who I think would have made a horrible film.
Oh my God.
He's good at certain things, but probably not this.
Tell me.
Bryan Singer.
He did.
Usual Suspects.
Right. He
That's
did
about
Usual
it.
Suspects. And I'll give him, he did House. He's the reason House got started. Besides that, everything else sucks.
House the TV show or House the movie?
TV show.
Okay.
I say he's not old enough to do House. And Danny Boyle, who I actually
like
think
X2.
All right, I
that's the best one.
I like X2.
X2 is the best of the whole franchise, I think. Danny Boyle could have done a good job at Fight Club, I think.
Did you see Tramps?
Which one is that?
James McAvoy.
No, but I know what you're talking
Movie's
about. Yeah,
amazing.
he's a great actor.
Like, that movie is amazing. So I could see how Danny Boyle could easily do Fight Club, but
I could too.
But if anybody that's not seen Trance, watch it. That was a underdog, fantastic movie.
All right. Speaking of underdog, Sammie. How can people find you on social media and if they want to get in touch with you? And
What's that got to do with
hello?
Underdog?
I was just
You
saying.
talking about the Underdog cartoon?
Sure. That's
I like Underdog.
Full circle.
Not as good as I do Mighty Mouse, but Underdog's okay.
I'm trying to prevent this from being
Kind of weird
3
that a
hours
dog
episode.
runs around in a but yeah, the next one
I'm
we're
trying to wrap
worry
this
about.
shit up.
Okay. Where can you find me? You can find me
Mad Monster Party.
at Mad Monster Party, and at Mysticon, and at it's getting into Comic Con season too.
Yeah.
So you may see some of the comic book man rolling around somewhere
let's
too.
hope
Yeah. Other than that, you can find me on all the social media at Sammie Castle or at Sammie the Comic Book Man on Facebook. Ta-da!
Very cool. Zach, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at NerdFox108 or at NerdFox Photography or at Scarlet Fox Films. I got a lot of Instagrams. Just
Folks, do you have a wedding coming up soon?
I film weddings. Find our work at ScarletFoxFilms.com.
Very well. And if you actually want to see Zach, then just come on out to what Marketplace Cinemas any day of the week.
Pretty much any day I'm not at Disney.
Every day.
And you can find us on Instagram at Recap Productions.
Instagram?
It's getting late. Instagram is so.
Oh, I still have MySpace.
17. Okay, Instagram is where it's at.
Instagram.
2018.
Now it's something else. I saw somebody talking about it the other
You
day.
nerds don't know about Instagram.
Instagram.
Recap Productions. I'm on Twitter at Hank vs. the Undead. You can always email us at recapproductions@gmail.com. Check out our crowdsourcing campaign for our new film, Several Will Calls, on Funnily.com.
Patreon.
Go to the Patreon page /Wreak-Havoc, patreon.com/Wreak-Havoc.
Give it money. It's really cool.
That would be great. We're about halfway funded to get our monthly contributions to keep this podcast going and Carolina Hates podcast.
Yep.
Listen to the Carolina Hates podcast, which is about to have its season finale the Friday after this episode airs.
With more podcasts possibly coming that we'll discuss here shortly.
Ah, very cool. So listen to everything on the Wreak Havoc Podcast Network.
We're starting our own network. Dan didn't know it until just
decided
now.
right here. Right here, folks. Okay.
I'm glad I could be in the room for this.
We'll be back in another 2 weeks with Mr. Fox
In
as
an
well.
extra 2 weeks.
And then an extra 2 weeks. And then an extra 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Just remember, you are not a beautiful and unique snowflake.